CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.
Nyatimbu ntemu APS leti. Ndemu APS leti. APS Gambia lemu APS ti. Katun APS is 100% Gambian.
Bari nyatimbu ete kufuri mbala kentala ni. Ke nyatimbu ntari taba futu wola. At least ya fonte ko APS min kullo balbiji. Imo fon fonya fon ka fonyo ko ibina do ibodo ko APS jam fane mo fana fonya nyatimbu. Yo mi fo enta sija. Ntanga moyro ko APS wallet isa ko do kinu. Min tata fo wuli muan ime charge fenna wala nta sindija
ako natimbo nkoy ko kabo transuto kata wala fo wuli muan ite fenne dola womu zero file bitun kabo wo 20,000 la ka sele sal ike tam ike charge na fa abuka fensi 1% da malam ngati
wota yara gamen no be nyanta wala kana APS wala tele mobile ko ko do ki ibadi ngol
yaje ni APS kabrin nan credit ko to bari min kum mayata be wala fa mo kas pawat ni suto be during suto be dibinin abe tema biti kol sonda ila APS mobile lo sika ni asika to ya safe da men ko fen ko atondi nawek ha ni oto je nyamen do tachi ama ni ama do abanta ila kas power isa hawasima ajibe free joriti je
wata mbaden gameno albe sito wulle fisiyata alna leta APS wallet yela lambaylo kon APS wallet nyaata doro barin koto nim fata do suko kon to
dañu be fono le mol ñala jam nim fata do suko kon mbafole
basiti je mbita ndo register jede kadu sa APS 100% namundi
APS 100%
APS
Gambia 100%.
Assalamu alaikum baɗigol ngali konton kale bisimilla ko rege momoɓe kerfato jibe ka ñenten ɓenna allah di grande bantaba programme o min kanale arjuma ni ñi wato sita nga moluɓe bisimilla e ñim programme o to molmi alon ko lekka ñim programme o juɓe molmi alon ko lekkanoma diaspora molmi alon ko lekkanoma gambia banko kan jamba fala moɓe ko ala baraka bake alka ñim programme o noma ñamen arjuma nin talan sey nata mbiɗa miniti tan sabala no milɓe youtube al subscribe na youtube channel ola is free of charge al style sen mole natarete ba jibe kan on facebook le al style sen mole o be mol ma ko la bagere mele nyim programme o fasa ka sembentu yendi wala mi APST anin CareFinder ngi tendu ke je bagi kanyim programme o fasa ka sembentu yendi CareFinder ka korda wa fole ke gambia banko kan jang ebe korda wa fila nyonta mol kono le mili alon ko mo jamal kata wolto sen pour kara cordal sang alka example dol je mi alon koy ka wallelo mi alon koy ka ke on the Facebook woto kerfande corda sur locational bel to Gambia banko kanja bari corda lorin bandingol fana be bulle mi alon ko isa wafino alla corda chabo dia la wadral mon problème o soto bari natra kene kense ngole bete buli lafta kalo ka loro fananke wichola mi alon ko ite lafta walla iba lore watola andungi abang albe bari kata kerfande pour kata cordal sanje walla kata loro la je to lem nyondangol ti ila no be tara bari kan screen o duma yanim programme o nyimbe banna alsela no matano ali contact APS itollem nyondangol ti ni nata of course kodi kiola Gambia banko kan jang ila abo min kera APS wallet sayeng alsi credit ko sanno jele alsi cash power sanno jele surtout ñing sama mi alon ko be wala kono tending natara sama be ki kan do be tarela bun kono ye credit ko sang ye cash power sang watara ime charge fenna is free of charge with APS dol ka charging kala bari APS itol ka ke free of charge dari te fen jolaje andum karo kono isi wuli mu nyongol kinole ni na rakodi kiola karola watara man fen joyte charge la fenna ebe kolo nyin kirale free of charge APS da male bo ke kan woto mo be bori ngata APS wallet nyin download ay tarela mobile o kono watara ite batala kodi ko isa kodo kino dawda en isi kodo ta kada ba killing bayring la dokula la timinol diata la woto ngi tendu ke je baki kanyum programme o fasa ka sembentu yandi ke blodu nyim programme o ko do mutana lenne ko reke aning anoda grand bantaba kon ka ke nyame arjuma kana janka di yalla aning jesolu yalon kon ke nati ale jang bi fana mutana lenne ko reke be kala ka cialti mi yalon ko be kala ka cial nyon tangol ti bayde ngalundan ne sodo jang mi yalon ko albajere nyaal do mandimba dundila pour na kacha ko la mi yalon ko bebe tarra dending Gambia ko la bari force men panelist sol dundila Sonko Gambia, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Buba. The viewers all content they are always with us. Katum fe wato wati the program siala tari. Belfani alon ko YouTube wato wati YouTube number be increase kan ro bafala the subscribers alon ko like subscribe jamba ala baraka bake for always doing that to push this able platform. B for another Friday, a very important Friday. Basically, it's completely different from last Friday because last Friday, Kumba Silla, Vintato Akaga Kelola, Akaga Kemore, I to let you
about Kumole Tagiga.
No, I don't go to Glenyola. Talbo is a problem. Talbo problem will be as an Alka Pile go need that. Calasonde. No, going one now. Can you go? Talbo politician Barry. No. I know the person. So
is it NPP or UDP?
NPP, full-time NPP. Is a passing in for is a member of is a member of parliament. He is a member of parliament.
This current parliament.
This current parliament, NPP current parliament.
You are Bile.
No, I'm not. It's not over.
I need to get example.
No, because in fact, come here. You're running my own.
Why you come in parliament?
No. But you have a license. The Malong.
Buba. Iteleka kachandi. Kampudoleka kachandi. Let me tell
you something, Talua. Majonga, Mama control. I'm going to come Mama control Karema. But let me tell you something. Majongo, to tell you the truth, is a key loyalist to President Barrow. A loyal to President Barrow, and I tend to say President Barrow. And he's always like, no answer. NPP, NCP mumfal la party holdi. Gona file, ngaya ko tomala party wala NCP, tomala ya law. Ngaya ko so kombo nyama, party o sendi ma bari itisa ite.
Sendi nyuma.
Ga sendi ma.
Ya samba UDP.
No, ngaya amile. No, no sanja. NCP.
Ite party lo ko.
No, NCP. GPP. Ngot ami, na geso ya lon. He can tell you the history of this political parties. NPP, GPP, PPP, ñun mu patrol ñun la patrol mi ko wala ka fa ñokay UDP law you understand so say ni nga ata dañu ko da PPP law de fay ngi fa na NCP mbara ñu lo fayele nga ko patrol dumale te sembo dit la pour na patrol ya wafi ako mo patrol wa ba ko ate ajelo ko
ko le sono le ke o ma
ako no ka ya wafi le mo fa na ka yo sa wala ko ni lo ba ka mi ko mo ko ni so fa mo le fa so ko nga ko ba la patrol yo fa ko ra sinyo ka ka wafi
bara ta nga ma jango soro grand Bantaba
pare ko no ako ni ala mi fo ako ni lu ma ya ako ni yalo ako ñaata projet no ziaro ako no ziaro netlo ako ne muso commandi sina ni na muso ako ne ma jibe nga na jibe ako ne wutu ako ne ko jama balu ndare
no ala samaro bele wura la de sira wala
ako ne ko jama balu ndare no but to tell you the truth I mean you know he's a mature politician ma jango nim is a very mature politician, and to tell you, he played a pivotal role in the form of coalition in 2016, especially NCP. At least NCP called a paid track from the late Bolong Penke. But this is what number no left all Baba Akonya la Padio Betera, Akonya Nala Padio. Gamu Solomon, Akonya Del Malamu, Solomon Del Akonya la Padio, Gago Nana from Akonyago, Albo of Remilla, Gago, Beo Remilla, Akonya Del Diamond, the Yok of Kobe, Paro, and Sambatoki. The Jaraloke, the Kubek, the Kubek. So it's very no, not about the kaki, you know.
9 million so I'll tell you
no level kaki America. Next month, ma offer all. Niaro mafia baloyle ma anyway, so I mean, this is another Friday, inshallah, and we believe it's going to be a very I mean, a very good program because we have a guest, Mayor Lonko. More than Mayor Lonko, I made a political colonel, I made an activism colonel. He's always speaking his voice. I believe Loko Nabi Kachapana is going to be another very important discussion on the Kelajam. People will actually get a lot from it. Until the time we get back to you. I hand over to Majago Kodi project. I don't want to project. Majago Manjuda, a Konyoka farm politician. A Konyoka Baba Dunia political.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Buba, Bafla Moleko, Juma Mubarak, Mol Konton Jumola Dumbe, Duara Fanam for Alasimabi, Juma Jamala. Men kan jibe bantala di men be banko kan jang ke da taymol beta kan yim programme ñu follow na kontondiro ni duabal be duara gambe di mu be momon dimbe maman kan dawdan di fo ala si barako kije ala si karo kije ala si tenkum ke gambe kono dul men fanan yalon kon kana ma be jang na jara kende ya fo ala so tumbulu kasima badina ka taymo dinna fanan kana wato kana si jang ka banko la ko kaja na mol fanan men yalon ko na panelisol men tamata nene ani MC Cham junior be kontona be duwala fanan fo ala satina ni bes join nan jans ko dege suti ba nyim fanan ba kontona ka tentu ka jay comme ka fa nyamen dron na jati ba buba me yalon ko watel kan jiya jang na la cameraman on na la technicien on bal be kontona ka tentu ka jay na panelisol men fanan ben fe jam Mr Bojang mba kontona kada fo bayo sonko me be kontona ke tentu ke jay ani na lunta mba men fanan na rakafu ma jang kal be konton dron ani karlal men fanan ka karlol ke moli pour que tande molla gambia dimul lo muyti yal si Petronize kaje ko gambian ko le nyanta ñoo face à la feo fendina jande ngata bla dolto na fen dol sanji
alla karlo ko Senegal
so
alla karlo ko jande
so la karlo be nyanta kala jande
alla karlo ko jande
NPP
de la karlal bebe gambia
no ani
de la karlal bebe gambia Tolfo.
Na tolfo. No, kana.
Contract ko di Kamfati.
So Kamfati ba konto na bage. Na sa fo do barandi wala. So be mo be konto na.
Yo konta ko nam so fananda.
Fo ne
Tungara no. Yo konta ko nam so fananda. Kasa ya
ko ke mole kasa.
Ye konta ko di kasa.
Pe mo ba kasa la boyo kana.
No, ede bongola ede kelo la. Ede la ko ndala muso kasa go boy.
Kasa boy tele.
No yalo comme na hanna man boy bare ite fa na fen kare. Adi la na sidi jam.
Thank you so much. Ale?
Ite na ba kam. Buba. Ite ba kam.
Ite ko kasa mo jam. Jawra kala abe mo. Okay. Buba. Ite buba
ay veteran politician wala ko majang. Wato dol te yina la. Nte majang ko nol sifalu, oje jallo nol sifal. Nte la political style ol tale. E political no baken. Majang ko même fo mfama was NCP. Fo Musadra mela watu nada. Musadra mela asabana from NCP to PPP. Comme kununka même foye karimun na numolati, karimun na karanke wolati. A manke mankutu jawti bare comme ka sio nyin diande.
Yemoro li jubala. Ayi mbalun rek. Yemoro li jubala.
So ndo fo dole. So nadad ni majang ko nolu. Kata solo dabo nolu. Eke touré nolu tolle politiko ke NCP. So what more I was young, but na kuja malong ko nyin.
Ko nyin ko na.
Fama wato la simbolan ni moto ko.
Go yemoro li jubala. Yemoro li jubala for no muri. Yemoro li jubala for no muri.
So Madam Ko is a veteran politician. Asa ko membe ke kan dron ke wa ni nada. Ke wa nada ni ke wa nada dron. Ka ko la baka. So bar mba konto na mba tintu la baka.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. Abla?
Yes. Memol be konto na, men nalum dan konto na, mbal be fana konto na ino. La moy lal ni ngibe lal dawoda. Ben panelisol mel man nano bi dol mel be China Xi Jinping ya. Be konton kan. Le doa kay. Positive station.
MC jela jela lifta kono bo. Go waji.
Channel?
Waji. No, mbe banko fana duwala momo ko talibo ya fo nyame momo be dawoda même mo banko la kayroti alama woyke ba ko don kol be to na nyaton kol ala se mako ise banko no samba no sonia kono gambe yanda tala dame mbe nga futandi no ji kayro kono and always a pleasure dem fa wala mol konton my mom and dad brothers and everybody melkan jibe requesting more prayers for everyone on this panel and other panels, and of course the Gambia. Me do women buba amang easy.
Yes.
It's a very difficult job. Gambia's politics is difficult. So mbe la moy lalbe tentulambe jela mbe duwani ni kay bulu ya lafa pour mo be not for buba only or talibo but for everyone and Gambia in particular. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Ila kabum kabo nyina dala madu. Ida kabole.
Bla kabum kabo bla ndefo boy cha. Boy banna ma do jana ba MPP ko la auditor boy.
No, yes. Ila flap prepare they have NPP
Extra.
kola lewot. So NPP kola ebe clean dila tale bola. Kilo ni ma. Nene. Ya nene so like woli nene lo. Abi ya tale bo be clean tala. So ande data is rate.
Nene ta bana vi drone na attack la. Ai tale bo nene ta vi drone. Ai tale bo. Nene na attack la ja.
MPP kola found yara ni after no found.
All right, thank you so much. Kamfati Adelaide Bayokara, Alsa Kumandino, and 523437.
Buba yaje Kamfati la ni buka kandi.
Yeah, no, buka kandi. And the original Fenkole Bayo Nyinde. So, Hania Fenke Galon original. So, Mobe Taje, Alenyil, of course, Doom. ali ajele gamin dun last week and this one at bimo comfort la karol leti and definitely I karol no bagale 5234379 5234379 wala mala number nale akumandi o number drong alba sotolale ana taral be gambe bantala alsi kararo keno jele with comfort ko of course na panel soli ya fanya men luntan dole soto mi alon ko ba introduce la science intending mole mi alon ko alon ta bagale ni nata Gambia political karola bari human rights lawyer lem fanan Gambia banko kanjang ando aka mamam political fanan karola le min kira lawyer Assan Martin mole mi alon ko mo jamali a sutele ni nata ko mi alon ko wolle kake Gambia banko kanjam mimbe den dem political anin fanan ka harama dingol la nyantolo kanta Gambia banko kanjang aka diamu je bakele bari nabe kacala min ko da wolem political mi alon ko le be kering Gambia banko kanjang ali alon ne towards 2026 ku jamal le be kering Gambia janyo saba jamal le be kering within political parties but also Gambia fango political system wo nyimbe lari nyamen science and then nyimbe be kala kolleti mi alon kon nin lawyer Assan Martin ba kajal alkananyina lawyer Assan Martin during the last election mi alon ko wala kera min kera mayoral election oti mole mi alon ko alata no min kan wala Talib Ahmed Ben Soudati ka support pour ka mayor soto in KMC andum onata gagné kake mayor but towards 2026 fomba jelale ko ay loi fama pour kake candidate do what is he going to do for mba jelale ko I join coalition or well you comment demanding a diamutale ko one political party te gagné no la Gambia banko kanjang in an interview mi alon ko wala kenon koma that means a coalition kumandi kam barela recent interview do fana mi ayake abe même fakam wala mindi ko pour political party ol kana Ross ka coalition ke mi alon ke be mistake la in 2016 mistake go mi alon ko wala kera nyin bebe kala quality mi alon ko of course be kachala council welcome
assalamu alaikum dal kon tong mo be kon tong na jiber lal na moy lal on this platform, very important platform, Bantaba, Grand Bantaba. Bantaba long, Bantaba mukacha kuole.
Kacha
dulalo. Ni ko because ntol botu mon kata bakaw ni kara bakaw Bantaba. Mbota je ngata nemba, ni mbota nemba ngata Charlie Domola. Content tabake. Buba definitely Gajiko. I also content for your invitation. The team also behind the scenes fixing things. A very healthy environment here. Kerfatu Fanang and all the team. I've been here on three occasions and so on. All those platforms. But Ablai Kontong on this platform. We follow the platform. Very important. He's been doing well. Mr. Konjira. Charles Lelon no.
Yeah.
He's a brother, yes.
Charles,
he was a colleague. We were then working in the Jawara era. Then NSS. Definitely. I learned a lot. Apart from that, Sonko Gambia Nyinkai. But the beauty of all this thing is that the Grand Bantaba welcoming people of different views, people of different parties. I may not belong to a party, but I'm welcome here. Look at the panel, it's definitely interesting. Gambia will have interesting times to come. You know, Gambia manke quote pour me along control pour be quality na sama ko jibe whatever banko sambala. And key in our foundation during the opening here, Sanawia wolo talentol be tema. I mean, there is no resentment, no hate. This is what we want have to fight. For some of us, is our legacy to fight. It's not that we can sit, I watch Abla and all those things, Cho will say, but Nimbota Jangata sing and Ataya Ming, you know, this is the view and all those things. The views can be different. That is healthy. Enough in every family you can have that. Molbese will know from one father, but they have different views. And there is nothing like a view for, you know what I mean, for thinking. No, we are all together, we are all the same. Our purpose for us is that we want to find a generation that will also take over. But Buba, in short, very interesting, Grand Bantaba. Also, you mentioned a very key element in our politics, Majan Kosa Musa.
Yeah.
Alpha Lomi Alongo Fananga Alone, he invited me on 2-3 occasions in his compound. Sorry, I mean, Wobe, I've then there, I have a lot of discussion with him. Alamala ya so sima ya jata kende with all this thing we've known. I mean, I have known that he was with the health issue, but definitely Alamala ya so sima ya jata kende. Alpha ya tandi politico tole.
Definitely.
He's been in politics for a long time, and we can learn from all that. Our generation is to improve. So we find ourselves in a situation wala tinangana kacha. But in long short of it, Buba, we are here and told be mu kidin neti. Amanke kamfa kuti. More wrong. Political manke jusukuti. It's just make your point, make your position. Nobody may get it right, but inshallah, the viewers may and the voters will decide.
Thank you so much. So, ka dumkuol kono janimbi na
MC and Nene Fana, they are not here, but definitely I wish they were here. The discussion continues.
Yeah,
maybe another
yeah.
future invitations.
I'm sure they'll be here in in few weeks' time. Ngalom min today saya mansia, you know.
About 2 weeks now.
Yes. Gambian, yeah, some big Gambian all be gelate mela. But jannim bina towards 2026 presidential election, you know, call me along call lebe caring opposition also, and of course in the ruling party, laftaling of course nga kacha about the government force because nita rafoikera opposition or that means akamenta e man la fi kodo le mialon ko lebe ke kan man sakunda to mialon ko e man tarata kan ko. Why do you think Gambia need to falindrola in 2026 ka man sakunda do soro?
Well, mobe ye balu nya sotole mobe ye jer nya sotole. Ya jibe we always have to go in to Bible coming for in hindsight. Man sakunda le tartanun jang ya lonko for the past 22 years. And most of those feel that it was a repressive regime at some point, you know. A lot of things has happened under the Jammeh era, 94 to 2016. So we've learned a lot, we've experienced a lot under the Jammeh governance. Yalong fonga bejibe mansa killing jamano buka dunia bang, you know, dunia. And also where do we take, where he takes the country and where was the country going. A lot of challenges, Buba. First of all, what was that regime going on, doing projects, roads, development, and all those things. But on the shortfall side, which is that Alafanang, human rights abuses and all those things has happened. There's no doubt about that. You know, there is no perfect regime, but fundamentally, some of us, we observe, I mean, reality is that, you know, ni futata dladolto, mansa se de amununya, mansa mi alonko inyanta Gambia kipla, ala diamnya sifal ko ketale, we start saying, I'm just saying.
So when you say human rights abuses, you mean on the barrow?
No, I mean, I'm just talking about Yaya Jammeh. Yaya Jammeh, Jabare too has his shortfalls. It may not be much compared to Yaya Jammeh, but he has his shortfalls.
Okay, continue.
Because until we are objective, as I say. So, why did it change? That's why you're asking. So we come to see that Gambia futa adamotole. Mansaya, you know, you start speaking French. We don't want people who attack any other. This thing, ethnic. We are in Gambia. Ntol Buba. The pure Gambian is the one, all of the Dangarach, everybody, man. Ntol dol jam mamal bota jan 100 years plus. More be. For me, the ita fola nyoko. Ntelom lansaroti ontolom tol dol mol bol batale. So let's pick that philosophy. We are all human beings. We come from Adam and Eve. Adam and Hawa. So whole sifal, this dirol, whole cool janta karandila. Walatina, we don't want the young people to make mistakes. We are speaking to the young. The older may know, but this is the thing. We have a fight in our hand in Gambia. Cultural revolution. So in short, we feel that he should go. You know, anything, you know, all these things, Mansaya, Lafta Kela Kingti, and all those things. You know, Mansaya is, you know, governance is not easy. You have people around you telling you X, Y, and Z. We've seen a lot in terms of property, whatever you want to call corruption. Mansaya walk normally. But beyond that, 2016, we have to go for a change. What was the dynamics in 2016? The equations, I don't know whether we want to discuss it, but the reality is that now we want Falimo. President Barrow has taken over. He also has done now. Before he comes over, Walatinantol Dolko, ñu dem fan jibe la de ku jamal le fota jang electoral reform. You heard about the solo sending issue. Package, there was a package there. Anybody who has come, we will have expected you, and we can argue that. Come in need 2 terms. Okay, that's where we go. That's what, you know, it is going to be all agreement. Buwa B, I'll just give you a short term. If we are to work with anybody on the next coalition, we expect that the president coming, whether it's Ablai, whether it's Sonko or anybody, you starting your term, it's an agreement. What I mean is luale kadada. Some people confuse that, no retroactive issues and so on and so forth. That is up to the individual. Okay, but it's an agreement. Lua Muminti, I can make a bill that anybody who served for the past 60 years of Gambian this thing, who have served this term, it's an agreement. You have to go. But beyond that, Nigeria ko Barofan Italy, really, a principle 2 times, okay. Before coming in, we have the 3 years issue. Before coming in, we have a lot of mistakes. But again, he has done his bit. Capacity-wise, you know, okay, the expectation, in short, is that to him much is given, much is expected. Kunyal beketanya, abetula Gambian all the blue. If they want to keep Baro, let them continue. If they want to change, reality is that dunia katanyami. Gambia is at a slow, very, very slow pace. Look at development in certain countries. So this is the issue. We want a change that probably some of us.
So, but you want change. Why do you want to change Barrow?
It's not about me. The reality is that
you are opposition.
Okay, yes. We want change. You are
opposition. You are citizen.
Yeah, a lot of reforms. When they were coming then, 2016, prior 2016, security reform, economic reform, legal and constitutional reform. What other reforms do I say? You know, security you have every security sector, civil servant, and all those things you promise. Because before you can mantra, if not in governance, you have to lay a lot of things to the people, to the voters, and they have to do with a lot of expectation. So if the capacity is there, but if you were to do 100 and you're still struggling with 10 and 20, it's up to the voters again. They will have to see whether it's enough for you. Buba. Everybody here, and the capacity for everybody is that and a lot of mistakes which we can discuss and so on within the borough administration.
What are these mistakes?
Well, a lot of times you have the wrong people, if I may say wrong, but Squire Peck Ramsford has been here. We have seen ministers declare that there was a corruption in their departments. We've seen also a lot of, today we are commissioning commissions. Man, it's a confused state. It should not be. Investigating the investigator. We, in the direction that we are going, as I say, Asiatade. If we are to sit here and start this thing, they may have a view, but honestly, I'm not saying that they're not trying to pull their weight. But ku jamal leketa, if you take investigations, ya to jana, nyinketa ya landi jana, and the fear is that within his cycles, Mansakunda, our department is very, very challenging in terms of look at our ID card systems. Kata Banta, ID card, dual, well, they are comprehensible. Another one, which I could remember, is ID card license for 9 good months. This country is not capable of giving ID cards. It questions whether we are fit to be a country. These are things. A lot of contracts has been done. We are not here but signing contract. And the fear also is that a country, we cannot also mortgage, or if not, all our assets. Foreign companies cannot. We have to have prestige. There are things that Gambia kuolom. Also look at our bar, this fishing fenko. Buba. People are suffering because a lot of foreign trawlers and they've been giving license and don't be 2 days ago I was in Tanje. What you pound land for 1,000, 5,000. And they are telling us, and we have heard it, until we do our research and investigation. They are telling us that good fish, good quality fish have been packaged. But in total Gambia dingol, we are struggling in our markets. Ni tata chalo be a 4 kg ka for 400. It's beyond. You know, so what we have to, this thing, so the government has to do a lot. It has to do a more. I'm not saying they're government, they're there. But again, the success story for this government, I don't know. But definitely, I'm not saying, but again, also during this era of a new era in Gambia, don't after Gambia Tanyato, like we just say, as I just say, we welcome every kind of views, ideology. But I mean for non-drong, going forward, you've seen it, even though we were not in a party, we've mentioned it here, dealing with UDP candidate, what was started. But at the same time, Laughter mean not wrong, Gambia Etanyatro, and we have to also make sure our institutions, people governing, let them, you know, hear us. Because Banku Kuolum, Banku Fana Mobile have a say, mobile tam. I'm not wrong. Along Buba, Mamsakunda Mukara for quality. And people have to be very, very careful. It doesn't matter. Whoever comes next, Mansakunda be fadim na ring alon talibonyol they want Barrow to stay here till doomsday. But as I just say, falling on yantakela le, kachale yantakela. Gambia, this is
so munati na yet talib support nung during the mayoral election.
Anyway, it was basically, I see it was tactical in a sense that having too many candidates in the then mayor, I was intending to run, but I feel that having too many would not have helped some of us in the opposition side. And two, I believe that a lot of ideas could have been shared with him so that the interest of KMC moving forward, so these are one of the most important things because definitely if you want to say, you know, for me, if I tell you that I am backing you, I make sure I do 100% what I believe for you.
So you think Talib was more competent than Bakar at the time?
At this moment, yeah. And then the dynamics again. You know, in politics, this is where now the opposition has to be very careful. I'm not advising Talib. Our opposition, 2021 or 2023 election for local government also. Although politics goes with dynamics and equations and calculus. And this is why we are calling our fellow oppositions, UDP, DOI, and all those things, GDC, the key ones, and the rest, to be careful. Because dynamics are a shift level, very, very complicated. Gambia, but it's a very complex when it comes to politics. I've worked virtually with most of these parties, let me tell you, without doubt. I've worked with the UDP, closer point, I was working sometimes chapters outside, I've worked with them, Mr. Dabo, back then in 2010, and so on and so forth. I've worked with DOI. What brought Barrow also, we contributed towards it. There's a lot of stories behind it which people don't know. If you ask what was happening in New York, Elder, and all those things today, they will tell you. I can say that most of them today, and not maybe few will say that, but most of them who were today with him were not there back then. Some of them were there even against him. I can tell you how things were. But yeah, I've dived deep into politics. GDC, you remember, the Kande effect, non-alliance, also the GDC, APRC, the other side, and all those things. So in general, we have seen, but most importantly is the other side that I am with, which is trying to have movements, trying to also be under the activist side, to educate in politics. That is my role. As I say, my challenge in life is to have what they call ethical politics, but healthy one for you guys tomorrow. We will all be retiring. We may want to see another Bantaba where young people will be debating, and so let them not fight. It's a competition of ideas, so let them not fight. So in essence, this is why. But the reason for that KMC election is that it was tactical, and we happened to come out of it. As I said, the calculus, the political equation, is very, very complex in Gambia. So, momi malong, inyanime hakilo tuala, you may make a grave mistake. Sometimes, you know, X plus X and what goes into after 2 X's or so. So you may miss 1 X, or you have to add the other X to get what you want. So yeah, political be like he may want change, he may want to continue, and all those things. It's everybody's rights and views. But nyantang hakilo tulale. And then the world also moves. Yeah, political hakili kuole beje. You may be faltering and all those things, but you have to think, it's dynamic. Where am I going? How am I going to get the other side? The voters, the silence mass, which is the most dangerous thing that you may have to think of. It's not about you, your party. Your party may have this thing. You know, all parties, some people belongs to the party, but maybe Gambia, the equation is that almost 45%. Party ko you can follow in a seat wrong.
We're sitting there.
And we'll
get to this party thing. So after that election, you've been following Talib. And what is your relationship with him now?
No, well, there is nothing much. As I say, I feel that I traveled and I come. I feel that, you know, discussions have happened prior. But now, like I just say, there is a commission going on. 1, 2, we have exchanged a lot of ideas prior to, but yalong fanang political, I don't want too much of, you know, what will this thing. There is a commission going on. I have to sit back and see what is happening, and then I try to put a lot of ideas to him prior. I mean, whether he takes it is up to him. Well, as I say, definitely, you know, anywhere I am, if I am consulted, I will come to you. If I'm not consulted, I hold myself. But as I say, I will also continue with my advocacy. That is also, and then also it's not about him. It is also about what is good for KMC and what is good
so
for
you
Gambia.
gave him ideas that he didn't take?
No, I mean, I gave him most of it, as I say, Buba, so well, if he listens to me or if he, I say, but as I say, Kujaman let discuss that. Because one thing I always tell him, you gotta live out of your box. You gotta go out of the box. You know, man, by the Local Government Act, I'm mayor as a mayor. Mayor is not an executive power. So it is fun and leadership. It has to take you to some this thing, if you understand. I'm not saying competing with candidature, but leadership to deliver. Because if you mean people, don't wait for government. And I can tell you that local government is a problem because there is a distinction there, government, central government, local government. But the pool of weight to go out and we want to do something. I'm depending on the collections of weight, tax or whatever. There are times that you have to go and do something. There are some times that you want, you know, our situation to change down on the ground, on people's environment, or you know what impacts on people. So if you stay in a box, it is very difficult for him. So jail afternoon we see more, but as I say, what we see is just what we are seeing. I mean, definitely the situation so as it is, they have a lot of challenges. The local government commission, you remember, I complained about it because I said that the timing of the local government commission, this current one, it was not good. It was few weeks before. You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Local government elections. So many thought, politics has perception, very dangerous thing also you want to. So many thought that why, if Barrow was to run for presidency, and then I wait a month or two before, I said that I have to investigate the president and all. I said, let's wait until after the elections, then you make a massive this thing. However, we've seen a lot of revelations coming in. You know what I mean? We also have to sit back and watch the situation in short.
Okay, so we can say in short, yes, you supported Talib during that election, but you shared some ideas that were not, some points that were not implemented by the mayor. You are not 100% happy with, you know, because you
definitely came. our environments and what we expect more. Yalong, it's not easy just to come and support Buba ICC around Kang. I want to see progress. I'm a man who believes that. That's why I say success stories in our ministries is very difficult. Buba, if I am responsible for the defense or I'm responsible for fisheries, I have to see how many thousands of people who, that's what makes this thing. I'm not, you know, some of us, we don't want anything other. I've traveled, I've seen any minute going, but we'll be more outside. Here we are, even the institution of our fourth estate, I want to see taking up responsibility, challenging what is the Freedom of Information Bill. Today you should be able to go to the Interior Minister, ask for this, ask for that. You know, that's how governance works. You know, yellow democracy, I won't tell a minister, what tomorrow the forced protest and so on, I'll be 3 years job now. We have to buy force them because we fought for it. They have to come out and protest, allow them. You know? That's because that's what we were crying for. So until we left them more life, you go forward. This is our idea. The idea of democracy is not about, hey, Ngabula KJ wrong, so he sits as a president, Ngabula is Sino. The reason why some of us are sitting here is chocho, maybe, yeah, but sometimes a fault is happening within a certain ministry. He may call it out, he may call it out, we discuss it. So if government is aware, he can go. But again, people make very good judgment and common sense. You know, how my problem is that if you can do 100 and you can get 10 wrong, that is not helping. There is a lot for him. Look at the state of our crimes, the security and all those things. You know, as I say, I'm not saying discounting some of these things. They are trying to do good, but our country should be moving. So let's it's not the way to go. I mean,
now towards 2026 now abekela election neti mi alon ko mo jamal ko abe kandila bakele but for you there is no one political party that can unseat Barrow. It'll believe more wealthy, right? Now if you ask you
because of the calculus. Yeah. As I say, if today I'm just giving
no comment now. UDP is saying that they can unseat Barrow even without a coalition. Okay? Well, there are a lot of political parties at you people are still independent. Now, what do you think can happen before 2026? And it's an observation in politics right now. What did you see?
Yeah, it's challenging. And the UDP, as I say, we as an outsider, they have to take the outside view. Isa no ila patito, but ni pareta after bankole nyeninna. I don't know whether you're understanding what I'm saying. Banyininna ntanyininna banyininna nyanyining. Nyanyine ila patito fa pareta. You have to nyining. That is one aspect, and they have to be very careful in the sense that, as I just say, we know most of this. I've dealt with a lot of parties and so on, a lot of chapters, even with the UDP. I mean, like you just say, during the mayoral elections, I've been dealing with elements. I know most of the key members from North Carolina when those days. That's where I even know President Adama Barrow. It was the UDP camp. From New York, Elder, North Carolina, Alkali, Tunkara, every aspect. Because I was virtually, I can just say, within them. But as I say, and all those things, this Tabo and Lamina, I've also done a lot within the UDP camp when I was outside at magistrate. But what's another story? Back to what you say. As I say, politics is the calculus, the equation, the dynamics, and people are mirror. And if you mirror there is a lot out there. If you want to win, it can be UDP plus. They may carry some percentage. We have to be this thing, be it 20 to 25 or whatever, but they have to be careful. Now, too, the calculus and also the candidate. This is where most of the time problem lies. What did the country need at this moment? We are in a state of confusion. We have seen, let's say, I'm not this thing paraphrasing, but the usual faces in the politics. Sometimes we want a fresh start for this country, Buba.
What do you mean by calculus and candidate?
Yes, calculus politics equation. Be 120. If you were to defeat Barrow, the margin of error is the next president to win Barrow, the margin of mixed person to win Barrow, the margin of error we are looking for is nothing less than a 45%. Because what we are foreseeing here is maybe a 3-horse race. UDP, for instance, ila mamma inyanta hajibela back. We need reform. I was saying one thing, if there is a way that if they play their cards, they could have even been the Pastef of Gambia. But are they playing those cards right? You have to be very, very careful. Mimbe Patioto, the nucleus and the outer core, we study everything. In a way, what I mean is that we are just trying to say they can also advise us from the other side. But they have to also come with a presentation to the Gambia. Because I say, you may have your 2025, you need more than 15 or whatever to add up. Because Gambia political level sitting when yama, if we don't see anything, you understand? As I say, we have to fall for a plan B. Because expectation is inyanta mamana nyami tamanya and the political culture inside. Because some people from the perspective outside, ika patio je nyami ite fana nyante fenkela wole nyama ndol we believe ko so we have to have an engagement, and down the law we were having engagements, but also we have to be careful. Where are we heading? Who are we going to present? What programs are we going? Because opposition, me, I don't work only on Kafokombe ruling party to critically this thing look at. I also critically look at what is our opposition point. I might get wrong winning. That's not me. I can lose and still maintain my respect. If I run for mayor, for instance, or it's not that I have to win by force. Ni wolom tell them talim nantalola by force pa modum boyelo defanam bo moyelo lablayelo yelo by force ngamin sototron na water. But I have to use my common sense. Why ni lota ablay lota sonko lota it will be ni mol be nga ni will be charot la amang it doesn't make no sense. Why? He put his program, put my program, ngajeko ninga di talib konira albein sendo sambano. That's common sense.
So basically you are saying ni UDP ni Kuman na you people are going for plan B.
People are watching them, and I think most likely if they are not showing the reforms, because we have seen internally. Buba, you are making this thing internally, UDP. Internally, what's going on?
No, but we're talking about the opposition.
Yeah. Okay. You put it that way. As I say, me, I'm a free this thing. What we are seeing here, most of Gambians are watching, and you know, politics law. Who get a J, Bini, who get a MPP, we had it. Nyadi, all let us break up, what was the name, the youth guy? And all those things will make happen. People are watching. People are watching elements. So it's same thing. People are watching here. UDP, but Kebaya Fana Nyanta Kela. You see, in Pastef, that's what I'm saying, Usman Sonko. And there is sometimes, the sense of entitlement. It's not about government. Usman Sonko, almost when he was fighting for Pastef, they almost put a knife over his neck.
Yeah.
But I am for you. Can certain candidates look to that level? I see this man. Let's move. And there is a generation. We have to also have confidence to ourselves. Amanke go wrong, tell them wrong. You understand? You know the danger in our politics, Gambian politics, Gambian for you, Buba. Bini Bubalom told baby Wurelim Bubatu. The other people are the outer core, the young generations with different views. But by the Ntolebe Sirimba, Folako Bubalom. This is where Antonin Bubaleka Akenon, you know, Ntoleka Akenon. So Ngabua Mutaje is denying other people. And then we have to be a process of opponent where this. But come back to it. There's a lot that we have to be careful with, because we are trying to unseat an incumbent. It's not easy to unseat an incumbent. So also it's not about the money alone. Barome waste more than $15 million in KMC. And I can tell you that Ndolanga Mimi Witness Talib hasn't even invested more than even officially $2 million. But look at it, we won. The message has to be clear, the strategy has to be clear, and we build up strategies.
Okay, so Sang, you talked about change of leadership. You know, you gave 2 points, and the other one is change of leadership. You believe that there should be a change of leadership to get another candidate, and it seems like What you're saying is you
Appealing,
people
viable.
need a younger candidate. That's what you're saying.
Appealing, viable candidate to give us a fresh start.
Are
narrative.
you telling UDP to change Dabo as a candidate?
As I say, it will be up to them. But let me give you a point here. Let them be careful. As I just said, the other side.
What do you people think? You are the other side.
Yeah, okay, we are the other side. What we want is a fresh new candidate.
Different from Dabo.
Yes, probably. As I just said, let me put it that way. It's up to them. There is their prerogative. It's a party. It's an institution. I respect that. But you have to assess yourself. Previously, do you know, probably in 2021, some people, they were even doing, some people were even other parties, even sometimes in the university. They have a perception which is very dangerous. Man, because of Ning, you understand, it's still playing. The protest vote.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Some even don't give it to Halifa Saleh.
Yeah.
Because I take that probably, give it the benefit of the doubt, they give it to Barrow. But the protest vote is still playing. That narrative is still playing. Let UDP be careful with that. So, Mafoko, this thing, but if they go, they go Kaba, they attain in Jusora. They have to be very, very careful. It's not a sense of, you know what I mean? Definitely. Mr. Dabo, we have all due respect, everything in our lives to respect these figures. But they have to assess. Therefore, I assess myself. I say, definitely, do I have to force myself and so on? Talib is this guy. Let me allow him to go. It is time that sometimes you make the situation more appealing. And people see the bigger you than you know what I mean, being after.
So you think Talib is the right candidate?
No, I'm saying that
you
Talib.
just mentioned Talib, you said.
No, I'm saying Talibu.
Talibu,
I'm you go.
All right. Who do you think is the right, that young candidate?
UDP, but as I said, we have a candidate. You
know the people that want that seat now in UDP. You know Yankuba is interested. You know Talib is interested. You know Rahim Malik Law is interested.
Who else?
You know Lamin Sane is interested. Among these young people in UDP, who do you think should be the candidate?
I will tell you my private, my feeling in private. I can't do it because UDP is a party.
Well, people are saying that we are supporting Talib. I'm not sure whether you are.
Not
because you supported him during the war.
I did not apply. I am also not yes. Take a info. Ye fanjibe. Let them look at the dynamics, the equation. And I know that Mr. Dabo definitely is a savvy politician. But let him be very, very careful. As I just say, you know, there is also I see, I heard a lot of things. You know, as I say, we are watching. The danger is sometimes the person.
And you do not agree with that? You don't agree with that?
No. Open up. It's a process. Open up. As I say, it's a process. As I say, the fear is that let the nucleus know how to be very, very careful. Y'all on UDP, let me tell you. Now we are dealing with UDP. Sorry for this. There is an outer core. They're very young people abroad and all those things, knowing how things are. There is an inner core. Don't depend on the inner core. I know UDP. I have respect. When Dembo by force, you know, as I say, we've been diving deep on before all those things. But you have to be very, very careful. Know what is currently. In politics, you assess yourself what is current. And look at the thinking. Most people feel that Barrow did not pull his weight. So we want change. But where do we go? And how do you play the cards? So there is a good candidate there who has a neutral thinking and who can unite within the party.
Who is that? Who is that candidate?
I don't know
this is the point.
I don't know yet.
Council, this is the point.
Okay.
The only person, you know what I mentioned. You said there is a new time comes. You said yes. But this is the right time. 2026 is just at the core.
But what is right to decide when to understand here is. It's like you know, you've turned the program into
I mean, a UDP and NPP issue. You understand? Because no. I mean, just give me time. Give me time. You know, you can't force someone to say. Because I told you. In fact, I even give you an opportunity that I am going to tell you in private. I think you are told to respect. So you cannot. You cannot impose that on him. That he has to say. Because we all know Mr. Martin. I mean, whenever you want to speak, you speak. And you always speak in the newspaper. And if he feels any time, any moment, at the right time to voice it out, he will do it. So I don't think you have to push him to. Okay, no. The conversation might be, I mean, come in a different way. Because already you've actually put the discussion, on UDP. No. That's what happened. The discussion has put on UDP. Yes, but UDP is a party. No, let me tell you something. No. I am not saying UDP is not a party. You need to understand one thing here. The discussion when they came in is very important. You understand? I mean, Assan I mean, he's speaking his mind and he's speaking what exactly they mentioned. So I don't want to discuss. But no, I'm not saying you don't want us to discuss on UDP. Now, the discussion here is the opposition and the ruling government. That's the discussion. But we went to a level where this discussion has completely. And then I'm proud that happened because that didn't happen to all you to go. This didn't go now. The hope of the Gambian people is United Democratic Party. Yeah, but it's beyond that.
Okay, so just let me come aside. Let me just continue. So thank you. So these people want changes. Opposition, whether you and whether UDP or council, you people want change. Now, the change they're calling for is UDP, other parties should join UDP, putting in changes again. Now, these people are saying, this is their belief. That's why I have to base this interview on that. Their belief is UDP, the changes that they need so that they can join them. If that changes doesn't happen, they will not join. That's why I base this interview on that. And now you mentioned that, is this...
Who said they will not join?
No. He said they have plan B. If UDP they have plan B. That's what he said.
No.
That's what he said.
No. Look, I mean, my lord is Kumajamal Fojang. I discussion on I will not say I mean comment member exactly. During the mayor's election, he has a cabinet not a loader, do loader. With a Marco Rokela, following Menyan the Kelaji, right? Or maybe Menyan the Kelaji. So that is why at the Kafuta, and do make sure they all endorse Talib. That's what he said here, right? So now I cannot follow you to go right now. Welling, election on Welling. I mean, people are eyeing on UDP. That's what he said. But people are also eyeing on UDP based on UDP, what is going to be their situation. It's not about forcing UDP. They have all right to do whatever. And I mean, independent people, they also have other plans to do.
They have plan B.
No, but in a plan B.
Just let me continue. If it will left them in the UDP Buluni woman shuttle, they will also come up with plan B. They are not going to force UDP because it's an independent political party. They can do their thing. So just continue interviewing.
UDP Bulu. Listen. In a coalition UDP Bulu bang. For either Allah for UDP la nyadon ko la falim bang. You understand? This is the point.
I don't for answer.
No, because I am this I left UDP joined into a coalition bang with other political parties. I left basically put UDP.
Okay, so say I can move for it.
No, I'm saying
taking consideration. As I say, we respect it's an institution and all those things. We know our boundaries. As I say, it's a politics, and sometimes you have to do. For the equation, it has to be weighed. So, Komade, you come in for drunk. Like the UDP coming, they have to assess themselves, knowing very well bota dami. I don't need boy dula ni taki dula. You can hakilo to bake because mistake jamal leketa from there, but also the perception outside. So virtually come in for, let them try to do what you know what I mean. People can see, so that people will be appealing to have an easy, good coalition. Failure of which na mean for coming bubako albebe can kill in the wrong. Ndol from the other side, we are also trying to have our united front plan B, which definitely, if we don't see what, you know what I mean, as I say, we take into consideration.
No, let it not be, you know what I mean. I mean, this sounds about that. No, because directly and simple. I ask a simple question. You people, you want UDP to go in for a coalition. Oh, you people are looking forward UDP you people are going to do your plan B. This is what I want to know.
Of course, let them look at themselves. Nyatonko ko, what be UDP?
That's the point here.
Listen very carefully.
Okay, Niko UDP Nyatonko bijele, candidate ko fanam bijele. Because it's one thing to be a UDP candidate, it's another thing to be a coalition.
But the discussion is candidate. We're talking about candidate here. We're talking about who is going to lead the party.
Now you're talking about the candidate.
And the coalition.
For us, coming for a Gambia be alhalo minto. If you look at it, and majority of Gambians, what is appealing to them and what is favorable to them, get a viable candidate that can also bring us a fresh start. This is our position.
And this is the point where I stop.
Now but in terms of point,
from UDP.
If they're from the UDP, yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's another world of now. You said, there is this unifying candidate in UDP. Who is this unifying candidate?
They have to look for.
Yeah.
What I mean is
a unifying candidate.
Yeah, a very somebody, I can just say, who can have those potentials. They know. I mean, I don't want it to be internally, but as I say,
I think, Mr. Martin. When you went to a level that go for a unified candidate,
but so you look for, you look for but again, a baby bulle yalong iko jumbi do ina hel borom hel wolo muko liamu do na keta ite yal non ne mo kana nimfo.
So Usainu is not a unifying candidate, although.
Now you make it that.
No, I want discussion is very important. I'm sorry.
He can unify the UDP party, but he also have to unify the country.
We're talking about. The discussion is about the presidential election. You understand? No, it's about the presidential election. No. That I want to. Maybe discussion. Discussion on easy. Easy. Because even there's a key element for them. Well, a unifying candidate. So I'm already Ndola party leader B is like Usainu and he actually said clearly, he is going to apply. And Limpati are select, he is going to be our flag bearer. Limpati are select. That's what he said. So coming for the B, Niko Usainu, there is no minimum there, movable Usainu Kai Abejel, right? Maybe for UDP, right? So maybe I order 4 people only for it. Maybe as a colleague, why you might not want to say in public right now. Out of those 4, it has chosen.
Now for any boss in the other say there, let me be clear.
We'll fall laugh.
Wolf from laugh.
Good.
So
we'll fall laugh.
Definitely left it.
No. It's not force those people to say. Democratic right level. Democratic right level. I think being a Gambian and there is no law may I stop for him not to apply. And he have never said in any single platform, I am not going to contest. And he keeps saying, I am going to apply. I am going to apply. And if I am selected, I am going to contest. Now, There is an element of focus jam. All you need to go. UDP need to look for an unified candidate.
A
viable,
fresher, and then also, you know, a unifying candidate.
Yeah, but one of the key, one of the key things here is unified. The word unified.
Yeah.
The word unifying. I mean.
Now explain.
Can we actually get into that?
Okay, please. Okay. Now hear me out.
Thank you.
When there was a contention in the UDP.
Allow me. Since he has done that already, if you listen keenly. There is what you call generational gap in organizations. UDP is an institution. Those that were born in the 1997s, for example, as kids, and those that were in the 1970s, in the 1980s, and the 2000s, naturally, inside the organization itself, dynamics have changed. How do we have a candidate from within UDP who is able to tie the old guards and then the new guards? That alone is unified. That's why he said, you have people in the UDP, those people have a certain perception. But you also have the outer core, by age, by generation, and the way they see life is different from, let's say, Dr. Mane or whoever. Now, having somebody within the UDP who is able to match this from internally and then coming up to nationally is his argument. That's his argument.
I think you understand. But now, you have more from the Munefaka. Now,
you know that there are people
you might not agree.
Okay, if UDP was to, like I say, just to this thing, to help them out. I'm saying unify. You when unify. I was saying unify the UDP party. Imagine cabinet tension on what I offended. You have also to unify the country.
The country.
That's one thing. If you were to make a research, probably within the UDP, Tonya, just go up. Like he mentioned, you have the generational issue, and you make generally. Just put a questionnaire in the UDP from everywhere and all those things. Tell them all candidate in private. Probably you may have a different results.
From people who will vote against
the UDP, I'm just saying, for who should be their candidate tomorrow. Don't tie us, like he was saying, to one nuclear core. Who just see, you know what I mean? He had a kilo water.
No, now what people are also saying, Council, is that people like you, for example, now people are accusing you people of supporting Talib, but you don't want to join the UDP to be part of these decisions in the United Democratic Party.
Joining?
Yes.
I'm like, I don't tell you for okay, joining. Some of us, this is the reason, because if I join a party, definitely, whatever I say, they will associate me with the party. One.
But you can be a decision maker in the party.
Before you make a decision maker, you have to join to be a decision. So, I can join a party without even joining to execute. But I'm just saying, that's where now we have the objective view, which have to come. Because the party will go, UDP agenda. Sometimes even the Bamola protest for UDP call. I'm just giving the perception. Gambia is a very complex politics. So Latin and Kabulefo. Being in Dunta drunk, Fema for drunk, na party interest. But for Latin, I have my leverage. And that is the best that I can. I work with Toy. I work with the UDP. I can tell you that. I work with, Kande or whatever, before I'm coming for it. But also we don't rule out. Because a baby nyaming, political to mando, na jane. Let's be agree. Cho fundita MPP, UDP, for Gambian don't faceta. Why do you think that, saying, I don't know Hakilo Bula. Coming, I think you say, some of us, we believe that the Gambia agenda, first agenda, is have to be part of us. Okay, the party has rules, has agenda, has policy. Because if I was to be in the UDP, I will make sure how to distinguish my lines.
So do you think they should take your advice if you are not part of that?
Advice is one thing. As I just say, I've worked with UDP elements even abroad with chapter. I have a lot of work, I have a lot of good friends. Sometimes we communicate. I can tell you that. I've seen Mr. Dabo not once, not twice previously. We've worked and so on. But we have to be looking at Yalong. 10 years ago, you can, I tell even like software, you cannot be books. You have the old editions and then the new editions. What I'm doing, because my mission is to make sure the younger generation coming, let them be guided. Okay? I can talk to you in private and give you advice what my views are. I've gone through everybody and everybody. But doesn't mean that this thing, the party knows what it's supposed to do. But again, as I just say, with all respect, as I just say, they are the outside perception. Because you have to, it's not going to be you alone winning probably, you have to coerce the other side. So its reality is that we are challenged, and then they have to, the ball is in the UDP's court for a good coalition. Let me put it that way. Credible one, maybe different from 2016.
And recently you're advising political parties not to rush to form a coalition.
Yes, because the mistake we went in, the committees were not respected, Modul Nata, their agenda was Ilafte Fangela, Dulaleto. You understand? This has been the problem. We missed the mission. Don't be participate participate. Like so, let's all take responsibility. Understand everything and so on and so forth. So this time around, it's not about this greed for power. It's not only it's in Gambia. In a youth soul, they have to also think they love to buy force thing. No. Sometimes we have to work, reasonably with good judgment. It has been our culture. Not for everybody for race or for everything. Look at it be today. More funded than left a president or more funded of up to 30, 40,
Towards 2026, we have a lot of candidates. So, but now the opposition, UDP is the biggest opposition party.
Respectfully.
And of course, joining Mekela probably political party don't be join na United Democratic Party to puru a coalition on you.
Provided anyam.
Exactly, I understand. I'm coming. So Natara atol lafta minnaji alias soto, which you don't want to mention for now about the candidate and everything. But Nama soto, then you're going for Plan B. Now let's look at the National People's Party. Now. It is the ruling party, but they are doing a lot of job. In 2026, poor President Barrow attending. Yellow political, do you think they're in a position to win 2026?
Well, if the opposition don't put their house in order,
they still have chance.
Yes, yeah, they have chance. But as I just say, minimal. But if opposition or land Barrow survives. But ninga ka ku yalon politique do bije ni a follow do politique sifa be barola nin do opposition nga wo political follow mbe follow.
What politics is that?
No. Yalon wo fana mo strategy leti. So abake na kulol be balandi ya janne bari yalon we Kenya anido tumando coming for draw to say me na ko political no, I'm just giving an example. Barrow has been doing that. Probably you think in your politics it's all about buying people, making money, and so on and so forth. I have an example. Who don't find me and I want also opposition. I have to say everything. Could not find me
yeah.
Yalo iko mandingo kwanika malunyala ite kumobuzila no. And kewa dibito lola. Ni molmeje nyante fanjela de. But let's be careful here. Come to what you were asking. What was the question again?
About NPP, whether
NPP,
they have chance.
Yeah, they have their politics. They have their chance. 10 years. If people are saying that we, be the situation alhalo mimolbe minna for molla bata ni molman bata fana ya bida go barolo. Well, they don't go with the barrel. But as I say, it all a political benyamin being. As I say, don't have to offer for politics if I change for now. Even if we're working with the UDP. Yalo nimton na political coup. Political, I told Huntley, the 1960 colonialism, or politics if I bejan, could all be be. So to yourself, be ethical in politics, and more be nalale. Sometimes people see that Abla is competent enough. This guy is a solutionist politics. This is what we want. another le pour kan na l'hôpital le dada, another le pour kan na agriculture le dada. Definitely, an innocent guy, a mass silence mass will say that, okay, this guy, you know what I mean? It's not, you know, what al-hal umbe wuleto. But the whole politics, if I got to high compino, sanga chairman, then chino domo jay, tanda kosijana, you know, Janiba Ablawa, Sokoba Fula, ritual service, you know, I'm not falling. I'm falling because it has been great. I've seen certain politicians, even before they talk, I'm like, they have to waste time. I think, you know, I mean, I'm just giving an example. People don't have time for that, man. They wasted. I was in candidature when I was running. I didn't find out run from. I seen that they change your entire narrative. But to follow Janna Besira, Bubai Fenke, ya Lipajang, ya ritual for ya Sabar for Fenke. You know, let's change because as I say,
Can you more I'm for mold on the Gagne. You've been a chinol. What I got more Gayan Nija.
You may see that you all know what. You're not president or Abesira for.
Imam Muzamwe, Imam that Imam who want to be the president as a candidate. Bubakai go, you know, so I can't Sabaro look cool again. I can't just Mamoide. I don't know Namolo. Imam
I'll get back to you. So, Bio, now, reaction or if you listen to him, now they want you people some reforms in UDP despite the mantra, but if not, they have a plan B for you towards 2026. Towards 2026, what do you think is the best approach for 2026?
Yeah, thank you so much, Buba. Abaraka Bake, my lord. I mean, Kuvenna for him is a veteran, somebody who have vast knowledge in politics and activism. Yes, and so, I mean, Nadia Muta, you know, Kalamoi, Fenamiananga Kumata Baka, and I, Nalamoi Bakele. And then, you know, that is why, because Lieutenant Nimba Javila, I kept in the Senate of Mungajavi. That is why I was interviewing him to know.
Yeah, that's important.
I mean, that's the only reason, but nothing else. I mean, like I remember Gambia Bayajele, member care in Bangkok, right? Koleave care in there, Fongbebe Kolearing, and provisional kettle. There are a lot of promises made prior to the change in 2016. I mean, promises are fulfilled. You know, for all, you know, President Barrow Tamata or Lelabum Paman Tamera. That coxon would have a bank the electorates, either you are UDP or you are an independent person. And basic commodities, you know, Nasula Fong Melialonko, Nabalu Fong, ila dabe sir kanyame na senola bunda na in education bunda na development abitaka nyame. I mean, every Gambian knows it. You understand? So it depends to the Gambian people whether they want change or they don't want change. You understand? But one thing I just want to make very clear here is, you understand? I mean, when we talk about perspective, you understand? I think more of our perspective should be, I mean, the candidate we are presenting, whether the person have the knowledge, and will the person deliver to us? This is what is more important, you understand? Because at the end of it, I'm bringing up a candidate, you feel like, or maybe people want a young candidate or an elderly candidate or so ever. At the end of it, what we expect from the person, this means we still go back to the same struggle, you understand? And for me, I am not saying this UDP is going to impose a candidate onto people. No. But I believe UDP candidate is going to be a competent candidate. A competent candidate, a candidate what they expect from him, that is what he is going to do. You understand? And then if you ask, I mean, and I believe Uncle Martin knows, I mean, my Lord knows that more than me, that if we are talking in terms of, academic, in terms of education, you understand? I mean, the party leader of United Democratic Party, he have the knowledge. I have learned those totally, you understand? And he have the heart, you understand? And he have also, I mean, I attended it, you understand? Because he is a person who was tested in power at some point, because it was in the government. So far, me alone ko B la jang. If Usonu Dabo, when he was in the government, never he has made any error. I Sunaro ka America man B. People are going to use it against him today. You understand? But about Masakunda almost 9 years now, Mawe Masakunda for Useni and the problem of this country is about corruption. That is the biggest problem of this country. Mobe Useni is not corrupt. It's not corrupt. Gambia amango come nafulo soto. Gambia amango come kafuko mallo na soto jan. Gambia amango come kafuko. I mean, we don't have people who are going banko kan. No more solo me are going banko kan. So Usenu Dabo being the leader of the United Democratic Party, the party of the United Democratic Party, I think, Gambian ko la focus on the element when we voted him into office. I deliver about part of deliver. You understand? Because some of these things that is the most important thing Baker mentioned. Mavoko left a mula president Yala Mayalon Abitala Jacob Mabalo. No, left a mula Mayalon, we have this stuff. Nobody doubt Usenu did not have this stuff. Usenu have the knowledge. Mayalon Usenu is not Usenu, the Carter file. Let them tell us Milane the Carter file Usenu. For example, if Nata UDP Usenu Samana, let them tell us key things, one of the Mola Balo. I'm talking about Mola Balo. Let them tell us key things, they feel like Usununata, attack Kelano. You're familiar?
Yalo, you are right. Let me just chip in 1 minute and maybe continue.
Okay.
You are right in that sense. Coming, Yalo, Amanke UDP, Naketa UDP quoted wrong. President. I can assure you that.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
well, you touch about perception. Then you catch a lot wrong. It's up to people to judge and decide. People left the barola, you continue. But you know, political could all be jail. You have to look at hindsight. 5 times running for president. He is very aware. He's an educated guy. I mean, full-time senior lawyer, classic, and all those things. But political fanala al-halo, and you assess yourself. It's very important in politics. Halifa Saleh here has Hussein competent, Halifa Saleh is competent. But what is the narrative here? Let's be careful, man. Let's be careful. Otherwise, we can lose. You know what I mean? It's not about, I mean, for a 2 ball BB, then go 10 in 10. You know, sometimes there is a switch which you have to do to achieve your goals.
So the narratives now, I mean, we
come in for wrong, just quick one.
Let's go into the narrative.
No, I'm just because I don't mean.
Let's not discuss. That's why I want us to go. Okay, let's not discuss. No, I mean, you are the one who is talking more about narratives. And it will be important then for us to go into the narratives.
You have to remember,
yes.
We may not have problem with Mr. Dabo. Let me tell you.
Okay,
I'll tell you.
Okay.
He could have been my candidate.
Thank you.
But remember, it's not about me alone or about
No.
Okay. There are a lot of people, make your research, who bring a narrative. What narrative for? You understand? And remember, there are parties, APRC, non-alliance, GDC, and all those things. Make your research. Just tell them, for instance, you know what I mean? We will always have to assess. It's just up to the UDP. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this thing, but we are saying that, Alal Hakilo Bula and all those things. And Kudol BJ, and I said it, I always repeat these things about Halifa has been here before UDP. 10 years, 1986, still dead, man. What was the education level there, politics, social work, and all those things? But look at it. Halifa scored only 32,000 the last votes.
What, yeah.
Man, I'm hakilo too, man. Sometimes, you can have your own inner thing, but try to know what is over there, which is the danger. If you overlook that, probably, you know what I mean, that will come and cause you start saying excuses, I'm fun too. And the approach, when it comes to strategy, I can sit down and discuss with you. I used to call some BDP in Goyoko, sometimes behind the scene that time. And sometimes, it's not easy for a party to sell itself. I don't know whether I am thinking. It's not easy for a party to sell itself when there's a perception.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you need an...
So you are basically saying there's a perception about Dabo And
That, and no, that is the point. That is the point. No. I mean, it's not about Buba is a journalist, and then to tell you the truth, his line of cautioning is something is actually needed here. You understand? Yeah, it's. I mean, I will imagine. You always speak your mind. That's the person you are.
Mr. Baden.
Right? Yeah, okay. To be honest,
that's the person
there's
you
a
are.
perception
Okay,
about
now tell us about the perception.
Yeah, don't tell
us about the perception.
No, because that perception Sunya wrote or anything in government. He's tried. They've lived in government for 2 to 3 years. Let me tell you. But there were also a lot of misjudgments around sister. Lapse of
misjudgment.
Yeah, no,
misjudgment. That's one of the keys. Misjudgment.
Yeah, but I don't wrong. Yeah, no more for an indicator leader. They look at how you execute certain things, and we have to agree. First of all, you know what I mean. Even the 5-year, 3-year thing, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. He made these false comments, and later on, make a sort of comment. One, you got to wrong. The education thing, you remember.
Teachers, yeah.
About the
teachers, you know what I mean. Thirdly, sometimes, this thing you have to be careful because government is about balance. I just give you a Yankuba thing in Malta, you know what I mean. You just shout your brain. People are watching. Where is this guy? You know, sometimes he doesn't. You know what I mean. We can all make error. You know what I mean. Sometimes let's say the Batambe thing. Where do you have to go into? Don't be J Abula. Alfaya among easy. Among easy that don't be you know, even in the president or science I would done wrong, narrow bitiko, you know what I mean? You know, we have to assess ourselves. Then you come about alpha to demand someone you have to be very, very careful. Because Boko be tempo mintolong. I'm going to tell a time. But then in Canada, I have to think of what can I come and say. Because I know that these things will be haunted tomorrow. The next 10 years. In California, you don't have principles.
Okay. All right. So, Abla conclude, then we go. Bye.
Anyway, you know, I now let's have a story.
No,
it's not about Buba. You know, one thing I will just say to Gambians, Bemen Fula Gambian will only into code. UDP, Nyaji B, Jama Bay, Benya Bakang, Molle Adoku. And those people are still there.
Definitely.
Molle Adoku. So UDP, Molle UDP Doku. And then Kabir UDP kana, there are other political parties here before, and like Melody Memfoya, there were other political parties. But Kabir UDP now the formation, you understand? Yeah, form Yaming, the elites Melbeje, you know, the people Banco they were in the party. Absolutely. You understand? I mean, we'll join the UDP law for a mission, and those people they fought. And what happened to the last moment, they were fighting against one of the most brutal dictators here. And they give everything. They give everything just to make sure that happens, with the intention for us to have a better Gambia. You understand? So those people are still there. You understand? I am not saying UDP is going to impose a candidate, but I know UDP is a political party. They will do the need.
It's a democratic party.
They will do the need, right? It's one of the most democratic party in this country, and they will do the need. And one thing is very clear here, he keeps saying this, and he doesn't deny anybody. I want more deny, and I want people to understand this one. Usenu keeps saying this all the time. Okay, UDP have so many potentials. And in fact, sometimes it will even rain and mention their names. It will mention their name. It will even go even outside our elected members. It will mention some certain competent people there in the party. So that doesn't mean that person is grooming people. I mean, more groom can. And somebody you are grooming, you will not be an obstacle to that person. And in fact, he said very clearly, Momo, you feel like you want to apply. Apply. You apply. So when that time comes, right? Momo apply. Now it depends on the people UDP, especially the Central Committee members. The Central Committee members are the people are the one representing the entire political party to select Momo Yalonko, if you go, will be Kelly Mut Mayalonko, will be no luta. will be winner. UDP is not denying anybody on that. So Malayalong be banta. You understand? The moment you have the belief that UDP have the numbers, you have the belief that UDP have the competence, what is stopping you not to join UDP? What is stopping you not to support UDP? Because already you have this belief that UDP le sakeno. Right? But now, because you know very well that if you are not in that party, you are not going to be part of the Central Committee members who are going to do the selection. So now, why better join and try to be in the Central Committee so that you can make your that choice? Because you know that the choice is not coming from the Gambian. At the end of it, Gambians will have the support, like the belief ko UDP la sakeno, UDP la falon kelano. Well, Gambian ko la belief, right? That is their belief. That is why many are talking about UDP. But now the selection of the person who is going to lead UDP solely depends on the members of UDP, especially the Central Committee members or the Select Committee members. Well, the multi-million, they are the ones who are going to do this selection. So, to make it clear, UDP will play their best card. All what I am saying, you have the belief in UDP, join us. You have the belief in UDP. Just be patient and wait for us. When the time comes, we will do the rightful thing. And we will give the Gambian people a candidate. Gambian people will vote for that person. And we are going to vote Barrow out. There is no obstacle in that. We believe we have the knowledge, we believe we have the expertise, we believe we have the love from the Gambian people. This is why today, even those who are not even in the UDP. And yet still, I am not saying that those who are not in UDP cannot talk UDP. I always want to say, some people will say, no, you are a Gambian, you are a voter. Although you have right to belong to any political party you want to belong to. But if you feel like you don't want to belong to a political party, you are just looking at a party Mayor Lonko, is going to, it's a fake, that is the party Mayor Lonko. So you have all right to speak about that political party. But we have a principle, we have a policy, we have a constitution. We have to wait for the party to do that. Because you being outside there, you cannot do it. It's only those who are inside who can do it. Now, convince those Central Committee members. Now, convince those who are in the UDP. Talk to them with maturity. Talk to them with respect. You understand? At the end of it, you might be able to convince them. It's a convince no. But one thing is very clear here. It'll be Nyam Usenu let be. Our eye is Usenu, and we will keep respecting Usenu. We will not allow anybody to disrespect Usenu. We will not allow anybody to belittle Usenu, and Usenu is our everything. I want to make that very clear. You understand? I mean, you can have your belief that Usenu. I mean, Usenu nalota at a winner.
It's your domoda.
It's my domoda. It's my kani. It's my subakanja. It's my. It's my bahal.
It's your perdima. It's your perdima in the election.
That's right. So remember that Usenu Muntola face lady. And then one thing I want people to also believe. You see, even for example, that is natural. Everybody have to believe in that. Based on the structure, based on the efforts I make in putting UDP together up to date for the Gambian Kaje. Any candidate, Mayor Lonko, you understand it? You might be selected if Usenu said, I am not going to be. You need Usenu's support. You must need Usenu's support. Because Usenu have people, they love this country. Usenu have people around him, and Gambian people, they really, Usenu la katako jele, and those people will always be there for only Usenu. So Usenu's endorsement to any candidate, Mayor is going to contest as the candidate for the United Democratic Party. You understand? Who is needed. So this is why we have to. I want to start from myself. Okay. You understand? Let's give him the respect. Let's give him the go-ahead. Let's campaign for the party. Let's convince people to join the party. Let's convince people to believe in the party. When the right time comes, party will do the needful thing. And when party will needful thing, at the end of it, natana baro bute, konyanda ka bute nyande. And that is possible.
Thank you so much. Tell me, go ahead. Reaction.
Buba, thank you very much. Mr. Martin Kondo Nabaki. For another Manka Umwele. This is first time pro nice platform to pro kacha. La fanka londola B. Because Mbala Mweka Hakilola back. Politiki kachala be kiri molla miro alala kebaro wala binala. wala tinandi même mum bela kayroti dom alama ala oke kanto wato do le kamira do muy la kayroti o manki la kayroti like 2016 modu amira barola na wala mo la kayroti onata kala kamfati onata kala masi bodoti do biji o amira ko ni ya jambe nata wala be kala la kayroti man de kele la kayroti so ni be dwala kayrol la don gambia kilum gambia ko leba kachala in platforms in political parties wherever a beta ta nata don cross rolomu ani hakilituo Mr. Martin ngala diamo la moy hakilituo ani cross ro parti killing mansia gambia ko le siata patioti so patio nabe tamandiro ke kam ibe la moy la patio kono bari la patio fana banta be la moy la wol fana dole isaji tamara mbulolu isi long bari ni atra ko te patio soto ila nyaton ko yamira no foltalem mo mantima ila patio yamira alqur'ano lom mo mantima feo fendi mantima birin jawara la time patio lota media independent ñini ñola itel phone internally i farasita ñin donc ñi ma ben ñin donc ñu mam aben wala NCP ni PPP nat ya jamme fana nat o fana ni men coup d'état i janjanda interest kam i do tata teng dabo ni Usain nol baro nol nata i janjanta tata halifa nol i janjanta so membe kerim gambia sainte wala mo komin ka foko ka mansa kunda fali wala mo president Adama Barrow la mansa kundati jomalle ba fali na wala mo opposition jomalle lafta tuje wala men yalon ko be MPP bar membe jedro wala nyinti ko man den kol ka fu menna ala fele woye tere dale bara la ba kannan inanta wutla barotle coalition dole tambita jam ila set up ita ranyame itol fon yembe wafi da mal nata si janjanta dol ko nyanga betata dol fanan ko nyim betata nunto be diaran tumo men kumol fota ko men nyeme fo misa dabo e kumo dol fo as a party leader aya fo baroma a tentu a jay a promote abala man sakunda kono brin split nara ay kuma dofo men yalon ko be banko kan silence majority e ka mune jibe bara tere nyim fonu jang a téléphone nyim fo jang so wala candidate cho nyi ay problème o soto la
baro ko mo jelle fo
la mere
baro ma 3 years jang
la mo yalo ay
baro yalo ko mo lahi di jang
ay baro wati because baro win tele already akata president akunda ni kan
akunda silo ama win because sunyaro wala ta ma win
but 2016 fana ya jame ko le sunyaro le ko
no
yalo amam len se bo wala ya jame ko tele sunyaro
ko dale
no
sa sunyaro ko dale
okay sai
ada sunyaro ko baro ko dale fo
baro fara
baro amri police baro ma baro en pon bisan ko
ya jame ko ya jame ko carte fara signa
carte fay loi jaw
man hani nyala
ibari fom lan
bay mte ndele
lan kanyana ka no ibe ko le fo kan le fo
hani mbatu dro sa mbatu nganna ko boy ni
ore ni mbaro be fo mo le carte fay baro so mo la do be fo mo le carte fay
ni nata dinko kono mbo faram fo le yele ibe lola le fo nganna ko mo wolindi
mbade dingo semena
al
ma koy al
so dabo kuma don le fo jang about baro aya wafi UDP ya wafi abete atale million sayle babulu ala account auto korda sayle bala account auto 2016 ngine foto jang so nimbaro nata la manse ata ay bun lo UDP ko o bun ay o ko do soto min tole amang am ko di tabula be sila har bure yo tabulu to Gambian people men ki mira kende o to idea tala ya understand so Mr. Martin Kamemfo wala ni lafta falendiro kala
ni mu last week kajal di wala fayele kabritara
jama
ñing ko
no yalo ntebe
ko state house le
ani matu do
ko be ñande ñina fo
no nteka ñim fo na audio ko no be te ko na audio la moy ngo ni pite fe wa fi la jante be men sanna
okay
because itel la ka ba fi
okay
yena ta ko do ya fo ya man bete ya so wala na nin ka fo ko
baro men fo you talking about baro
okay
baro
ko dron kana jang ikana ale ñoo jey jang
baro ko ñim babulu
baro ko biral bondi prisno kono al fintinde al duslata le fal ay ko annabillahi Musa afanan kale ko Mandela baro fana yo fole jam ale no jayi so ngam men fo gambe ko be karan kam menna wala mu ye kwale sono nyi ya karande be tembo men do ko nalbe diar nyo jayo si kenole bar nal kuyata si nyo bunno bero la le wala keta so kwale son kote no be de dala nyin ka jele foye wala nanda kwal kana hawji ibeje ko mo nyi moy la le ama foye ka fo ko
and I have no objection on that
ndema objection on kana hawji
ndema objection
ali mo tombo me yalon ka fo mo be sonna menna hanna tre mo be man son freng bar at least abe kala mo la timi yalon ko reasonable ta nyin ka jele foye yo baro dum aka nyum ka kwale sono me baro ye isa ba woto le kwale sono baro ye isa ba woto le APRC parti balati UDP parti balati bar NPP fana mo parti balati so ni APRC ka foma ye other people ka funyoma andu nyin ka men for last election mbe campaign la doyin call e ka fa nyambe doyle bari it's better we vote for Barrow dina nga vote for UDP because kudol lekeda in the coalition comme talabebul talabebul transo be ndombul la lafta dala sole falina dala si kutola nyin don na tala nyin don na transo ni e kaf nyoma wala dala siti sa nin ntata fongo falindiro ke nga dala si kuto so do te ko nyako ndela tala siati tati ni na transo man kafje do la transo man kafje dala so te so la so wala kena 2016 jama biran vino kena tumomi UDP antandi these other political parties la ko ntolle nga sembo soto so sa political party o memba kuntiri na UDP la pour ina coalition oke ike mi la kunum muneka
ba fon do ma sembo soto
ale sembo soto bara la sembo man ko pimti
ya mo keta jami yalon ko mo dol ben UDP ka foko ni man trata UDP bi man trata UDP ta trata mun you know we have to
this is it ma jamal la kena je ya de UDP man ka alquran oti they have a fault ni man sakunda alkala fault fo nyame mol fanan ka UDP la fault fo nyale bilal la député al député jama soro député bunkono men ka député bunkono al yalo mol yalo gambe ko yalo atele mewol soto jang before baro ena MPP parti ena aliye menke o area councilol kono atele area councilol beta atele dibito beti ale menke nyim banko kanja banko mol ye record nyin lonna ida yafo santo ida yafo duma bang mol yalonne barona MP chamano damondo wala di woske barona ta MPP nati ala MPP nat ay banko bondi damen aba sama kan damen fi samante ya be jele André Gomes la kolam nguur bi wala affaire bi dunko joxe nonu nda di no la wonya ka fo dron just changes hani
day
men keta kunum be mirala wala mbita kam mune kam be mirala wala na di fisamante ya be dame wala mbarole fanaye fisamante ya soto ka tambi nyin dolla because ni wote hani 2021 Barrow is not going anywhere.
Fisamante di we kind of fisamante edo danko wala
Marlola Carola
fisamante ya nyaadi after betraying the people million sama
betraying UDP
no after betraying million sama dumale baro sama ana misil ma ya fa
Gambian ko
even misil dumale baro sama na dumale sama na ko no
nyalo okay sa
dumale sama na ko
barka ko
UDP dal no baro no, let's go to speed.
Okay, sir.
Without UDP, there is no no, go. Without UDP, Barrow is not going to the convention. Go for you must acknowledge that. One of the most biggest betrayers was
le jamfa
no nimba jibe one of the biggest betrayers
atele mo jamfa ayal jamfa
jumale gambe ko 3 years jumale gambe ko laidi jumale banko be round jang jumale banko be round jang the promise
atele na
ngi gamel as a coalition
jumale ko atutala 3 years la bida 5 years jumale fana yo okay baro fana 3 years la fo sai albe
jumale la hido ya dia
okay sai jumale la hido jumale wati sai
jamfa mo on nyadon ko
okay
soko mansa
jamfa ma usene
nyadon
ama UDP wa
nyadon ko ka wala fo ila kalmu nyadon ko
banko mo ya understand
banko mo
no mel ko mo fo ka tele ali mbar folo de buba ni kuma jamal fo jande ni mo folo
e diam jamal fanke
so say mbar ma kuma klim fo e bayo gamben sa not ship mol ke lamwele ala til wotili radio ton ka contribute imaje man social media toile bulu man radio toile bulu na lon ko ka nondi len tel ka sinande gamben kol kallam wala nani president arambaro yala strategy jibe ay a trailer courant tata banko be kam pour télé mon sa moy silo tata blato mon sa moy radio le tata blato mon sa moy internet o tata blato mon sa moy kibaro kurung ning kubar kendo
kuran ta ko awtrajenade
ha ma
kuran ko awtrajenade
la moy bi
ko awtrajenade
santo to bi
kuran projet ay projet do fo mo le sama projet awtrajenade
atele asamba de
awtrajenade ida mo fil da wala projet do ya jame awtrajenade
ya kanjuro ke bo
ya
abla ba kanjuro abla ka
ila mo dro
abla ba kanjuro
comme même bi je wala mi diko
annabula ñëw rek
sulawlen kawando la be UDP albotro santo itel fawno biji wala nan di gamben ko say mo jama biji talibe dam moyito baro du ye UDP la protocol a understand back la botay kono ay minimum la mel nanani ka kele sandi mo nim fula APRC you have very good politicians mol ki jo ka farle kata UDP because munemu ay mo kilin neje atela kilin neje
comme la giw
wala nyinti ko hani Useni ni ba to fura jang ala haji Usenu dabo mol kajele ko na sita albeka la dictator lati ni media ta diamula kute kala nyim banko da mota la nyanto fono la because alla sampulo nyi al kamne nyitandi banko mol hani al ba to fan fula al ke kafule kana fo Usenu dabo ala haji Useni numukunda dabo
ba adam wolti
now understand
adam wolti
ka ke komi kamun ta wanyini wa soto ofisa mande yadalle wanyini o manyini a soto o ofisa mande yadalle ndaka men foye wala mi de mata ngana ko mo bari ndaka men foye fanka to do sirfo billahi kele ke dunya la bolla bu ku sumunala al bola ke kambar UDP jam al be sonna mollema ye kafal mat
juma banta mulla juma banta no explanation de UDP is welcoming people to join UDP is welcoming
lale albe la molla yamaro la mol kal yamar al kamol la yamaro ta yaji hani dindindin al kajudun tol del ben fa la ni social media kon del kal boy ndu anna la ni jama mo be ndilla ka dum snake jem nga buntan ngal
thank you so much thank you
last election hani ya confirm that go sini mu election odi ndi amutela moli la ya compinol
talbo confirm that
yes because I can brutal game le play but that snake game le play
okay no problem thank you so much
you have to agree on it
Bantaba okay Bantaba lom de
Abla go ahead. You know, I want to approach this thing from a surgical perspective. You see, there are organs in the human body that you cannot reach to without damaging some other organs. Not damaging per se, but without going through some other organs.
Yeah.
You know, in politics, you have what you call, or in legal terms, you have what you call power, and you also have what you call authority. They are not the same. UDP internally, I don't want to comment. You know, because the way I do things, most even think I'm UDP. Yes. If I don't say I'm this, people say, UDP, call them. You know, let me take Serifo's position to UDP kono ye right totally to decide what they want. But Gambians are the ones that can confer the degree. UDP is a student, for example, Talibolem, atata school to akaranta ala kolbeke ala exam or pass. But if the Senate, the board, or the academic officer feels score, nyin kabena abeni exam or check it's a perception. He will have to introspect our own findings ke kaji before ni ajagala nga confer fon kana confer. And yes, na ye confer what time wole ibe kela ila fa ke menti. Ning ame confer ite ke no lati. Now internally UDP can decide whatever that they want. But they cannot make anything in this country if it stops there. It only has to go back to Gambians who will now decide for UDP and Memphena and to Lafala for Malafala. And say Kafuna Malafonte Kafunola Ama. So it's not a situation Kafoko, UDP lebe Alpha and then the Omega in this situation. No, at a Kenola. I always tell people that yes, UDP the massacre Arambago Bondino. Yes, that is your feeling. I don't have any problem with that. But I can tell you that is practically difficult. Now, the game is this. What is the bigger picture? The bigger picture is Gambia. UDP can have the right, but the Gambia has the authority. Authority as it, Nima menke menti, what a kenolati. Internally, I'll say, I'll be menke okay. If you want to bring us anyone, that is you. You have the power to do that, and your committee and your processes. But outsiders are also saying, you know what? You can do that, but we also wait for you at this point. And at this point, it is the most important because we decide what we want to do or not. And Kuklin Nebige, he has used the word perception. Perception is not reality. So, Moma, for example, Usain Dabo is bad. And that's the reality. No, but the perception with people politically, Janko, okay, we may not want to give chance to Usainu. For whatever individual reasons that I cannot comment on or I cannot confirm. But I interact with people, just like he interacts and people interacts. So at their personal level, they will tell you the reason. Yes, if you talk to me, you give me that reason. Personally, professionally, I know that that is just a very lame reason. It's not a good reason. But then how can I change that? To me, it's lame, but to you, it's a personal, emotionally attached perception. And it's difficult to change. Me mota da fo asono mo e memuta. Fo tonya fo tonya nteng. Asono mo ya muta. Ka falling aka koliale. Asono mo e memuta, o muta, o mati na o mu tonyalti. Hani? That is why we want people to understand the perception is there. It might not be the reality. It might be very lame. Amanche put different moments say ise mira mo se o muta as a recent thing. But amani wole be muta ngabulu. Sa ita do ko menti wala ka genya dile amadi ememuta yo fali no. That is the problem with the opposition in this country. Sometimes it is not about the principles alone in politics. It's about how do you make people buy in. How do you get people? You have to have what you call a force of attraction. Your force of attraction, as far as Gambia is concerned, is not revolving around competence. If it is competence, believe it, some people in public office will not be there. In the Gambia, it's not the competence most times. But does it actually relate? Or Gambians, do they feel they are relatable with this individual or so on? So, for example, it's a thing at the time you are buying it, it's the most expensive cloth that you have in your fashion shop. But a time again, a fat kidata. More than can I come out and abeta the barimeta janne. You want to sell it at the same price, they tell you are not going to buy it immediately. It's not that the cloth is bad. It's not that the quality is not quality.
Expertly.
But it was like Jeroto, I'm making in Dulatole. So they don't even, because they have come there last month, it's there. So they don't want to buy it.
Baba, you expert.
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm telling you.
So what I'm trying to explain is this.
Yeah.
We need
It high level of
to we need
last week ma ba jam ko afo diam Sidin Jaya men fa afo
nim pita en kuma de jamba fa
ben ko afo sa afo
ani
Sidin Jaya men fa afo
Sidin Jaya afo pita
Sidin Jaya men fa afo sanse
now
Sidin Jaya men fa ma fa pita
I'm going to somebody last week but go ahead yeah
Gambian opposition really need to introspect. They need to look into themselves. And that's his argument. And what I'm trying to do. Let's get open. Let's speak the truth. Now, how do we get that out?
Yeah.
You see, I interacted with an individual, highly placed as far as I am concerned in the society. These people, they don't come out, they don't talk. But believe it, only a phone call, they can make 5,000 people change their minds. Within minutes, he told me, for his reason, he said, you know why I want to support UDP? I said, okay, I don't know. He said, I will not vote for them. It's better I even stay at home, but I'm not going to vote for them. So for him, he told me, I have seen something from them. They have party interest more than country interest. So that made me kind of whatever. He told me, if they are talking, listen very carefully. If it is Senodabo, they will tell you is their everything. So for me, if your party is everything, I am not voting for your party. I'm voting for the country. So, see, that is that individual. What about telling a Okay, but somebody out there may say, I love Usenu and Useni is the one that I want Gambians to vote for. Munem and so that individual, that is his whatever. Now, the difference is this. The difference is this. When people are emotionally, attached to something, and when they are in principle attached to something, then it's different. So the perception is usually emotionally attached, and it's difficult to fight.
Yeah.
So to help the opposition, UDP carrying the torch of the opposition. You take it only, like it or not, they carry the torch of the opposition. Lampo battle level. So what we are saying is, Lampo balbule ha. But abita dulan to lofta ale abita dame nalma abita gay ntal normal gambeno dole fokan. So it means sometimes you have to compromise. Yeah, you know, and we see okay the long evening you lay banko kete edoko kele and so on, and they are not found wanting. They still have a right. But do they relate with the ordinary Gambian? Maybe there is a generational gap. May Usenu no ba Usenu no at some point. And in Gambia didn't fundi the science thing. You have to look at all those nuances in the political spectrum to be able to get the opposition together and then move. Sometimes, even in our own houses, we have to bow down to certain things. Not because in principle we support it, but we know it will break our family. So, until after let's have a healthy discussion, the opposition. UDP should, be kind of more open and then kind of more proactive.
And we are open.
I'm not saying you're not open.
I understand your point.
More open. For example, you see, this time that we are delaying is giving more leverage to President Barrow. This time. And I told you people here and Gambians that, and they follow my President Jumal Begina Kolia like a Bundi Aitambi Adam Bahola.
Obviously.
For a lot of reasons. So it's like Adam Bahola has the advantage. You like it or not? Advantage sort of backly in many ways. And he is playing his cards. If you want to follow Barrow's way of politicking, you are going to be a follower and he's going to be a leader. Now, this is what I always tell people. Even in business, you have to change strategy. For example, when Wave came in,
people underrated it. Those that I discussed with from a business perspective, because I have a business acumen. So you see, you cannot beat wave if you want to be individualistic. Forget it. It will take you 20 years for you to stand shoulder to shoulder with wave. One, if you are going into someone's thinking, I tell you your ideas already, he is the master. Because he is the one who initiated it.
Obviously.
And has planned for the psychological aspect, the financial aspect, and so on. For example, Wave, when they were coming, they were psychologically prepared to sell something. They got the finances because they knew what it takes to get that marketing done. So they have everything inbuilt. So if they come, because they innovated that you want to come and do a similar thing to maintain your base, they have the strategy more than you.
It's
They have the knowledge. So what happens is, you now need to come up with a new strategy. Then Wave will also try to learn your strategy. Then you will distract them. Because you don't idea men fena. No, I'm
just trying to explain what is it. Okay, no, but let me it's a sponsored. Okay, it's a sponsored part. So what we are trying to explain is, to be frank with you, I personally don't have any issues with Hussein Udabo. And I don't have any personal issues with any Gambian. I have issues with how this country is going to be run. At this point, the problem is such that we want to get President Barrow out for obvious reasons. We know.
Never.
People, oxygen is being rationed even in our hospitals. Oxygen on mansia. They have to see how to go about it. Sometimes they are bonding in doto, they are trying in doto. Or I for a man soto. If I'm going to oxygen in Buddha, I under for 10 days time. At least as I push no. But a man soto. All those are reasons why we should get Adam Barrow out. But the problem is, politics is difficult. It's a social thing. Actually, a battle to get people together. Woto, handsome tele. Woto, UDP and oppositions must be ready to sacrifice and compromise. There is no way we can get President Barrow out if we don't come together. That, take it to the bank. Because even if we come together, it's difficult. Look, the difference was how many thousands? Is it 55 or so? But when it was redone, around 18,000.
Yeah, 20.
With all that big, and the Yajaman who? Yajaman in Jumale, 8,000 in Jumale Kaftanyoka at the time. I think it was only ABS. It was only ABS. Look, 18,000. In United Kingdom, 18,000 difference. Imagine, with the diaspora, with everything. So it means we need to come together. And Barrow is difficult because all the time, I have to be frank with you, we have a coalition. It doesn't matter whether it is the politics is numbers. And I'll tell you, so they have a very big advantage. So what we do is, the discussion should move from this level. It should now go to, okay, there is talk in the open, and this is the agenda, and this is what we want. If UDP brings a candidate, they must sell that candidate to the Gambians. If Gambians don't buy that candidate, then the bringing of that candidate makes no sense, because the point of UDP is to bring a candidate that would serve the interests of the Gambians. They are not bringing UDP to serve Lawyer Dabo's family or anybody's family. They are here for Gambia. So sometimes you can have party internal processes, but if they don't align with the general perception, sometimes you have to, bow down. Not because they are right, but what is at stake is way more than party. It's way more than any other thing.
In fact, that was the solution and the formula for the 2016, just before this thing. Very interesting. As I say, Bantaba casualty and all those things. People learn, everybody goes, everybody build their strategies. Like he just said, your objective view, definitely, I've learned from it. But there is one thing coming from here sometimes. You go near Tongo Dete. Sometimes we put pressure on Barrow, we put pressure on you people, being respectfully as the second largest opposition. There is something also, the culture in politics that we have to change within the UDP. I can discuss that privately also. Sometimes okay, and so on and so forth. Be careful with that also, because you are denying every aspect. UDP has a core. Okay, you know what I mean? I I give you a perfect example. Usman Sonko ye Minkala, you know what I mean? He could have said that I deserve this at president at all costs. He went to a level. My friend, sometimes it's that sacrifice.
But you know, I mean, before you reach Usman, before you reach Usman, but the same thing happened to Usman Sonko and the co.
Okay. President, it's impossible.
When Jomai was selected as a candidate, Abel Muntolo. I'm not talking about the end part. I'm telling you about the starting. Exactly. I mean, the same thing happened again. The only difference was Usani Kasoko for Katra fighter. So when you different, before Katra fight. That's the only difference. Abesano has been there for so long. Usman has been there for so long, but Usman still give it out.
For her. Okay, just take that.
So we are flexible in that.
We are flexible in that. But I'm just
you can respond to any of what they said because time of
quickly, I mean, the culture also, let's try to test them. Don't rely only on few call. Like he was trying to tell you, it's all about strategy, plans. You know what I mean? Coordination.
And we have that.
Okay, no, you have a lot of
we are the most structured political party in this country.
At this moment, it's results. There's results.
And we will have the results, inshallah.
No, we want that.
Because we will listen to the
Okay.
Tell me. Not ruling out our third united front. Let me just make it clear.
You see, let me tell you, this plan B of a thing is still going to be in favor of President Power. That's why we are talking. Believe it or not, there is going to be coalition.
But those who are building that what is the reason of building that one when already? UDP is open for discussion. Okay, I can tell you that. And I can tell you one to go. UDP is also listening to outsiders. I want to make that very clear. But one thing I can tell you, the Kenyan third option they are saying, some people are saying, the third option means, like you said, if there is a third option, now you said the favor is going to be Barrow. Yeah. So, but now those who are building the third option, when the moment they were building it, they don't know that a government bill is going to be in favor of Barrow. So why still now they still want to do it? So this means I mean, they are in a mirror need to be looked into.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, now you are open.
No, but UDP is ever open.
Okay.
You know the UDP is ever open. If it's not our openness, how are we going to? How UDP will come to you for you to join our campaign in
I have to be somewhere. Thank you.
Okay. Is it Sarano? You can, if you want to respond to anything.
Well, thank you so much. The beauty of this is all about discussion, like he just said. People build strategies, plans, and so on and so forth. It's not about anything, It's a topic that has come with play. It's politics. People have talked about Barrow. We've talked UDP, Mama Kande, Joy, or whatever. It's also we can talk about what is the outside. And Gambia it's nothing personal. Political kanata jusola. Mistake, yes. I mean, always tani hakirola. Even if you say that he is a super, it happens during Jame's time. Sometimes you take a leader and thinking he is the only savior. You're making a mistake. Like he told you, man is imperfect. So be careful with that. You know what I mean? That one coming for wrong. Every time wrong, there is something that, ninga onkulo mad wrong. Sometimes look at what, you know what I mean? Be careful with that. We don't come in for wrong. Yamar kolom, the kachala. Like I just say, we appreciate being here. I mean, like we said, these programs will continue. Our goal is some people will be objective, some people will have their own views, like he just said. Let's consider everything. But in Gayamaro Minkodrong, if you be careful with because at the end goal, you're going back to the people. So, take on board. Discussion is also okay. You are open. Talks will happen and so on and so forth.
I really appreciate. I mean, no, not Kebala. I mean, it's not I mean, the thing is, my lord, is someone may along go. I really respect. It's about movement. Yes, I mean, I during 3 years, just the time, we interact, you understand? And recently also, when I was, arrested, I was at the police station. He actually, I think he was the first person to come to my place, you understand? So, I really thank him for that, you understand? And then, after I start signing, so we continue discussing, you understand? UDP, we are very proud that Gambian Gold Jikitana and Gambian Gold feel like, if you do the do, they will actually gain us, I'm happy that, a lot of Gambians, are happy that President Barula Masakunda is a failed state, is a failed government, and they're ready for UDP. You understand? So I will do that.
Thank you so much. Ngal tentu kal jey bake momo be kerfa to jibe kannung well sire ko ngala camera jibe la yon fanan ko ngata jibe so alright, thank you so much. Ngal tentu kal jey bake mba fulale ko nganyinde sotale bi ngana sponsor tentu ke jey bake wolem kerfa indati and of course APS ngetendu ke jebake APS wallet mobe alta download itolem nyontangol tini data of course kodi kiola Gambia banko kanjang alta alsi credit ko ni cash power be sanno je watral be sira la bonkono ital charge la fenna je bari with APS fanang alsi kodo kino dawda al lafta alsi kodo kino min tara wuli mu wanyongol watara e mal charge fenna karo kono wo mu kuleti mi alon ko alta sotel dawdo wala tinal be APS abo download pour alsi munafanjin service kendo la mi alon ko APS be wala ke kan Gambia banko kan jang ker finder itol ka korda wa fola ke Gambia banko kan jang ibeji itol le nyonta ngol ni ata korda wa fola bayring molle mi alon ko korda sur location ol beto te lafta korda la dawda ni e contact dron ibe korda sannale o atara mambata yela korda kayto fanan soro wato la korda lori bandingol fanan be bulle mi alon ko iba wafikan ni e contact dron isa sanno e bulu bari ay ka loro fanan kele na tara ite kene kense ngole be bulu mi alon ko lafta ka lo dron e simbin keno mi sitano ker finder ibe la korda lore ite lafta wato minna banna watol the technician ol ngebe tendu ke jay bake of course Mustafa Kamara Samsidin Bojang Sire Drame of course Lamin Diallo aning na coordinator mim bay kasa afana bijande amam tombiya njabi but ngalbe tendu kal jay bake mba falale ko arjumana la rembe murranang bye bye.
Welcome to Care Madam Sanya, Borom, Sweden. This is another Care Finder masterpiece. Let me take you through it. The first thing that really blew my mind about this house is the crafted seating area just around the car garage. Amazing. And the door is soundproof and transparent. Man, I can't wait to see the rest of it. And now we inside. Look at the living room and how spacious it is. Care Finder, y'all always outdoing yourself. And we now at the kitchen area, and you can see me doing my flexibilities and the drawers are so spacious, and then they have a gas cooker. What else to see? Let's go. Now we in the guest room. Look at how big this guest room is. Super big and nicely decorated. And they have a guest bathroom as well. Man, I can't wait to see the master bedroom. Okay, here we go. We in the master bedroom. Look at how big and spacious this is. And look at how big and spacious the master bathroom is as well. Care Finder, man, you guys are always doing it right. And now let me take you outside a little bit. Let me check my swagger up in this. You can tell I'm killing it on the runway. So now let me take you at the back. They have a swimming pool. My God, look at how spacious this swimming pool is. I can't wait to really jump inside. to be honest. And they have a Bantaba sitting area as well, so you can just chill and have a good time with family and friends. And then they have swings for children or couples. This is the right spot, trust me. And this house is just next to Kir Madam Seka. Up your sleeves for our next gated community. What is this gated community gonna look like? Because Kid Finder, they always coming up with this special, amazing stuff that we don't even think about. So I really cannot wait for it. So in case you're interested, you can just call 4172215 for more information. And disclaimer, this property is not for sale, has an owner and not open for viewing. Kid Finder is here for you.
Nyatimbo ntemu APS leti. Ntemu APS leti. APS Gambia le mu APS ti. Katun APS is 100% Gambian.
Bari nyatimbo ete ku furi mbala kentala di. Ke nyatimbo ntari taba futu wola. At least it ya fonte ko APS min kullo balbiji. Imo fon fonya fon ka fonyo ko ibina do ibodo ko APS jam fane mo fana fonya nyatimbo. Yo min fo enta sija. Ndanga moy ko APS wallet isa ko do kinu min tata fa wuli muan ime charge fenna wala nta sindi jang
ako ngatimbo ngoy ko kabo transito kata wala fa wuli muan ite fenne dola womu zero file bitun kabo wo 20,000 la ka sele sal eke tamuna eke charge mun fa abuka fensi 1% da malam ngati
wata yara gabe no be nyanta wala kana APS wala tele mobile ko 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 do ki ibadi ngol
yajele ni APS kabrin nan credit koto bari min kum mayata be wala fango kas pawat din suto be during suto be dibining abe tema biti kol sonda ila APS mobile lo sika ni asika to ya safe da men ko fen ko atondi nawek ha ni oto jeje nyamen do tachi ama ni ama do abanta ila kas pawa isa hawasima ajibe free joriti je
wata mbade ngameno albesito wulle fisiyata alna leta APS wallet yela la mobile ko APS wallet nyaata doro bari ko do nim fata do suko kon to ru
ni be fono le mol nyaala jam nim fata do suko kon ba fole
ba siti jembita ndo register jede kadu sa APS 100% namundi
APS 100%
APS
Gambia 100%.